This is Golden Years, a roadmap to navigate retirement with Mark Cordner, the podcast.
Welcome to the show, folks. We appreciate you joining us. This is Golden Years, a roadmap to navigate retirement, a website day or night at mygoldenyearsroadmap.com. Lots to talk about on today's show. Of course, everybody is raging. The election's over. What now? What should I do about taxes in the market? You name it. We're going to have all those tough questions headed Mark's way in just a few moments. But before we get started, Mark, my buddy, my pal, welcome. How you doing post-Thanksgiving?
Oh, I'm doing great, trying to sleep it off. So it's the happiest time of the year, right? I love December. It brings out the best in folks. And, particularly for the Christians in the audience, it's a wonderful time of year. I'm excited. It's season of lights popping up. I'm not very good about doing that myself on the house, but my wife and kids make up for me. So.
This is the time everyone is happy and giving and, with friends and family. I think we all kind of needed a little break from kind of the chaos of 2024. So this is kind of our reprieve before 2025 starts of just enjoy family and friends. If you have little ones at home, see the holidays through their eyes. I think that's always a beautiful a reset button for everyone to go, man, look how beautiful of a life we have. So if that's you listening out there and you're getting together with family and friends, hope you're enjoying it. And listen, the show here, a roadmap to navigate retirement. When you think about the holidays, I don't know about you, Mark, but there's a lot of navigating on my side. Who's visiting who's going where, what time are we eating, who's bringing what? I mean, there's so many things to organize.
There is. It's almost like you need a break from the break, but we just got to focus on the good parts, right? There's that magic that you described, particularly with the children around, and that's the thing that we've got to capture in our hearts, carry you through to the next holidays.
You're talking about the holiday lights. I took my nieces to see this big, beautiful holiday light exhibit thing, and they were looking at the lights, and my 11-year-old said, "I'll remember this for the rest of my life." And I just thought, I will too. How beautiful is that? I thought better than any toy I could have gotten her. We went and spent time together. And when I'm retired, sitting on a porch somewhere one day, I will remember that and go, this is what life's about. It's all about making memories and being with family. And that's what we want to kind of, shed light on when it comes to planning for retirement. Yeah, it's about the money and the facts and the figures and the planning. Of course it is, because we have to have that. But it's also about creating these memories so that when you're 60, 70, and 80, you're able to look back at your life and know that you did more than just punch the clock at the 9 to 5. And that's where Mark comes in.
That really is so critical because, we talk about retirement, we focus on money, but money is just fuel. Life is not about money. It's about the destinations, the experiences we want to have along the journey. And again, the money is just the fuel to the vehicle that gets us where we want to go. So yes, we've got to have enough fuel. Yes, we've got to have some kind of roadmap to get us to a dream destination, but it's really about the destination and the people and experiences along the way. So the Friday before Thanksgiving, we always do this service event down at the regional food bank, and we had a wonderful experience. We had 40, 50 people there at this one, and we talked about how many people, as they enter retirement, they struggle. I mean, the first days are always a form of celebration, and then there's this period of kind of despair and despondency as they realize they don't really have any structure to their life. They have to now figure things out on their own, and if they haven't put any forethought into that, they dive into retirement, and they have this frustrating experience that, again, the celebration is short-lived. We realize it's no longer doesn't feel like vacation after a while. And so the big question is, what's your purpose? It's purpose that gives us happiness in life. And so that's the thing we so strongly encourage of everyone who attends our classes at the college or classes here at the office. When we talk about planning ahead, the number one cause of disappointment is unmet expectations. And so if we don't have a clear vision of what we're headed towards, not just what we're trying to leave, everyone knows what we're trying to get away from, but what are we headed towards? That's the big question that everyone needs to address. And the sooner we deal with that, the happier we'll be and the more fulfilled we'll be. We'll jump right from that period of celebration to a period of happiness and passion and purpose in retirement. If we don't, people kind of flounder in this period of despair and kind of experimentation, trying to figure things out. That's really not necessary. We want to get you to jump straight from the celebration to that period of passion and purpose. Again, purpose is what gives life meaning, and all of that is about planning ahead mentally. It's that mental creation of the future reality. We ask lots of questions of clients. I certainly can't be the answer for each person. Everyone has to define their own life, but we can certainly pose a lot of questions for them to help them get thinking about how they want to spend their days and what is it that really makes them feel the healthiest and the happiest in life, because that's what we want to focus on in that third chapter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, you're exactly right. And identifying your purpose, finding your why, where are you headed towards and why are you headed in that direction? I mean, these are all questions to answer as you're starting to put this retirement roadmap together. And if you're listening right now and you're thinking, all right, this is something I'm going to do for myself for the holidays. I'm going to give the gift that keeps on giving to me and my family. It's putting that retirement roadmap together. The website, mygoldenyearsroadmap.com. Now, switching gears here, obviously we are post-election. And, before the election, Mark, you were talking about considering an after-tax Roth conversion to take advantage of some of the lowest tax rates in history. Taking a tax hit now looked a lot more attractive than taking your chances with a possible higher rate when those 2017 tax cuts expire at the end of next year. Of course, we know now that Trump has won, he's going to want to extend those cuts. So maybe rushing to do this whole convert thing is no longer that big of a deal. What do you say about that?
Oh, I think it's still a really big deal. The timeline may have changed for some people, but there's still a few really key I think there's three important considerations. One is the earlier we get our money into a tax-free position, after the Roth conversion, then the earlier that money can start compounding in that tax-free position. And so that's going to be much more meaningful over time. So in the early days, it may not seem that meaningful, but 20 years from now, you'll be really happy you did, because there's that snowball effect where it really compounds in the later years. The other issue to be aware of is that there's what we call income-related monthly adjustment amount, or IRMA surcharges to our Medicare. So when we reach age 65 and we want to get health insurance from the government, Medicare, then they base the cost of our participation on what our income was at age 63. So 2 years prior, they're always looking back 2 years at what your income was. So at age 65, they're looking at age 63. When you're 66, they're looking at age 64, and so on. But the point is, they're looking not only at your earned income from your active employment, but they're looking at any Roth conversions that added on top of that. That looks like income to the government, even though they know it was a conversion. And that can force you into a higher Medicare Part B premium as well as a Part D premium increase. And so ideally, we want to have money converted before age 63 so we don't get that secondary or kind of hidden tax, as it were. President Obama said, if you make more, you should pay more. People thought he was talking about taxes generally, but he wasn't. He was talking specifically about this Medicare participation. So yes, we want to get money converted before age 63 if possible. If we have to spread it beyond that, well, fine, we'll have to deal with the fallout, but we can strategize ways to mitigate those costs. But then the third issue is really powerful, and I lived this recently with some clients, and that is that we never know when we're going to get our exit from this life. When we exit this planet, it usually comes as a surprise to many people. And so the problem is, if we leave earlier than expected and we haven't converted that money to a tax-free position, then our children are going to inherit it in whatever position it was in. So if it was still in a tax-deferred position, well, that's going to land on our children often during their peak earning years, and potentially with a higher tax bracket, and they have to spend it down over a 10-year period. And so we had a case recently where a couple called in a bit of a panic because his mother was being put into hospice and her days were very numbered. And unfortunately, that was a difficult time. But on top of it, they discovered that she had a couple IRA accounts, these old annuities she had bought years ago. And they had just discovered them and realized those were in a tax-deferred position. Well, if her two sons were to inherit that, the one son in particular would be really disadvantaged because he would be paying taxes at a much higher rate. And so we were in this dead scramble trying to get that money converted before she passed. Now, fortunately, he had power of attorney. So on the one account, we were able to get that power of attorney recognized the same day and get the money converted the same day. It's a simple signature. It's a simple process. But the other institution put him through a 2-week process of trying to verify the validity of the power of attorney before they would do the Roth conversion. And so we literally were on bated breath, hoping that she would survive so we could get this money converted before she passed. Now, of all the dumb things to be distracted by when you're in the final days of your mother's life, when you want to be focusing on her, and these poor folks were having to deal with these tax issues because they did not want to inherit that money in the highest tax bracket they could be in. And so we got it converted before the mother passed, fortunately, which means that her estate paid the taxes at her income tax rate. And so there's a technical issue that has some very serious ramifications to the children, to the family. And so back on this idea of should we convert earlier than later, I would say yes, if the idea appeals to you. If you believe, like I do, the tax rates are going to have to go up eventually, even if Trump postpones that now, eventually the math is going to catch up to all of us and tax rates are going to increase. If you believe that, then our behaviors, the way our money is positioned, should be in alignment with that belief, which means convert your money now. If you have that option, for many Americans, it really is the ideal. And if you don't understand these issues, come visit with us. We can help you understand the issues. We can show you how easy it is to get yourself into that promised land, as I call it, of tax-free retirement income.
Yeah, tax analysis, sitting down with Mark one-on-one and really taking a deep dive into not only your plan, but if you're in a similar situation, maybe you're set to inherit some sort of accounts, but you're not exactly sure how it's going to impact you. Just to remind you, I think it was, a year or two ago, that's when the Secure Act 2.0 came into effect. And that's where a lot of these rules started changing and folks really weren't aware of them. If you're going to inherit an IRA or in those kind of things, you are going to be taxed real big. It's not like it used to be where it was like, hey, you have this money for infinity. It was you have this money for 10 years. You not only going to be taxed on it, but you better do something with it in 10 years. So lots of changes that have happened since the Secure Act 2.0. Will Trump change those things? Who knows? We're not going to know until he gets in the office. But overall, tax planning is crucial to having a successful retirement plan. If you're concerned about your tax plan in general, or you might be listening to me going, I need a tax plan. What are you talking about? I just thought I needed to make sure income was going to be there. A tax analysis is a great opportunity for you with Mark one-on-one. The website, of course, mygoldenyearsroadmap.com.
Investment advisory services offered through Golden Years Financial LLC, a registered investment advisory firm. Insurance is offered through Golden Years Insurance Services. These firms do not provide legal or tax advice. Consult your own legal and tax advisors before taking actions that may have tax implications. Investing in securities involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Insurance contracts principal protection is based on the claim-paying ability of the respective insurer. None of the information contained on this website shall constitute an offer to sell or solicit to buy a security or insurance product. The information and opinions contained on this site or requested from this site are provided by third parties believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed. They are provided for informational purposes only and are not a solicitation to buy or sell any of the products mentioned. Any media logos and or trademarks contained herein are the property of their respective owners, and no endorsement by those owners of Mark Cordner, Golden Years Financial, or Golden Years Insurance is stated or implied.